Chosen one. Listen carefully. You are not here by accident. And this moment is not coincidence. October 7th approaches, and the Spirit of God is shaking your heart awake because something is about to break open. Heaven has paused the noise of your scrolling, silenced the clutter of voices, and stopped you right here to deliver this message. You feel it already, an ache, a stirring, a whisper that refuses to let you drift back to sleep. This is the awakening before the shift. Every sleepless night you carried, every silent tear you tried to hide, every burden you bore that no one saw, none of it was wasted. You are different because you were made different. The rejection you endured was not punishment, it was preservation. Those who pushed you aside only cleared the space for the mantle you were always meant to wear. And now, as October 7th comes closer, the final step stands in front of you. The Spirit asks, will you rise or remain silent? The enemy has tried to convince you that you are too weak, too broken, too far gone to matter. But that is a lie. And the truth is being spoken over you right now. You were not designed to blend in. You were not chosen to live an ordinary life. You were marked before time began to carry light in a dark world. That is why the battles felt so intense. That is why the storms came against you so violently. Hell only fights what heaven has already anointed. And now, the breath of God is speaking life into your weary soul. Your eyes are opening. Your strength is returning. And your spirit is rising from the ashes of yesterday. You may not see it yet, but everything you walked through was shaping you for the unveiling. The pain carved depth, the silence trained your spirit, and the losses sharpened your discernment. Nothing was wasted, nothing overlooked. Even the moments that broke you open have now become the oil that fuels your calling. Chosen one, you stand at the threshold of a holy season. October 7th is not coming to crush you, but to crown you. Every weapon that was raised against you has failed. Every curse is reversed. The shift is here to lift you, not bury you. Your destiny cannot be denied. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Chosen one. This is not just a verse. It is a decree over your life right now. You thought you were at the end of your strength, but heaven says, new strength is coming. You will run where you once crawled. You will rise where you once stumbled. You will soar where you once felt chained to the ground. And hear me, October 7th is not a day to fear, it is a day to expect. The shift is not here to destroy you, it is here to reveal you. Everything that has been hidden in you will break forth. The gifts you buried, the voice you silenced, the courage you thought you lost, it will all come alive. But you cannot step into that day casually. You must choose. Heaven is not waiting on the crowds. Heaven is waiting on you. Will you say yes? Will you align yourself openly and boldly? This is your invitation. And your obedience will unlock doors no one can shut. This is why you must not scroll past. This is why your spirit feels a pull to stay. You are the one God is speaking to, and He is demanding a response. Don't delay. Don't ignore it. Don't resist. Everything changes now. Beloved, take this as your sign. Type in the comments below the number 777, the number of divine completion and perfect alignment. This is your prophetic act. your way of saying, "I choose my crown. I choose my calling. I choose my God." And if this word has touched your heart, if you know deep down this was for you, then share it, like it, so that others chosen like you will find it, and subscribe, because there are more revelations heaven is pouring out, and you cannot afford to miss them. This is your moment. You are God's chosen one. October 7th is the final step, and everything changes now. Chosen one. You must understand this. You are not standing here by coincidence. From the very beginning of your journey, before the first cry you released into this world, you were marked for this very hour. The threads of your story have been woven with intentional care. Even in the chapters that felt torn or stained, what seemed like random moments of survival were actually deliberate preparations for this season. Heaven wrote your name in the script of destiny long before you learned how to speak it yourself. You have been marked for this hour, and being marked has never been easy. From your earliest days, you were set apart, not because you wanted it, but because it was ordained. While others lived without awareness, you carried a sense of weight and difference. While they could move casually, you felt the stirring of responsibility, the whisper that told you, you are not like the rest. And though the weight sometimes felt unbearable, the truth is this: it was not punishment. It was proof. Proof that your life was not ordinary. Proof that your journey carried eternal significance. Proof that the hand of God has always rested on you. The isolation, the misunderstandings, the way people drifted away from you, all of it was part of a divine separation. Heaven was preserving you for a day when your voice would be needed, your presence required, your courage demanded. There were nights you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were truly chosen or simply forgotten. The silence of heaven tested you. The rejection of men pierced you. Yet none of that diminished your value. If anything, it polished you. The storms only carved out space for a deeper anointing. You thought you were being crushed, but you were being refined. You thought you were breaking apart, but you were being formed. And now, as October 7th approaches, the truth comes fully into focus. You were marked for this hour. You are not here to witness history, you are here to shape it. You are not simply enduring time, you are carrying eternity. This is why your battles felt disproportionate to your size. The enemy never wasted his energy on those who posed no threat. He fought you because you were chosen to be a weapon against darkness. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak." Beloved, this marking is not about titles, positions, or applause. It is not about standing on stages or being recognized by crowds. It is about carrying light when the world is drowning in shadows. It is about walking in obedience when compromise is easier. It is about being willing to pay the cost of being different. Your yes carries weight. Your obedience shifts atmospheres. Your presence brings alignment. Think about it. The moments when others collapsed. You endured. When others gave up, you pressed on. Even when you thought you had nothing left, something inside you refused to quit. That resilience was not natural, it was supernatural. It was the fingerprint of God on your soul, marking you as His own. You have been marked, and the marking is visible in ways you don't even recognize. When you enter rooms, the atmosphere changes. When you pray, heaven listens. When you speak, darkness trembles. This is why some people couldn't stay near you. Your light exposed their shadows. This is why doors shut that you thought would stay open. They were not aligned with the path heaven reserved for you. Chosen one. October 7th is the confirmation of your marking. On that day, something shifts not just around you, but inside of you. You will begin to see clearly what has always been true. You are God's answer for this moment. You are heaven's strategy for this season. You are not just another soul surviving the chaos. You are the one called to carry peace into the storm. Mark this truth on your heart. The anointing you carry is not fragile. The calling on your life is not negotiable. The hand of God is not shaky. You may waver, but His choice of you does not. You may doubt, but His mark does not fade. He has sealed you for such a time as this. And nothing, no trial, no lie, no fear can erase it. So lift your head. Walk with confidence. You are not disqualified by your scars. You are identified by them. They are reminders of the battles you survived. Proof that you endured what should have destroyed you. They are not blemishes. They are badges. And as the world steps into the hour of shaking, you step into the hour of revealing. Chosen one. Never forget this. You are marked for this hour. And heaven does not make mistakes. Chosen one. You have carried battles no one else could see. The world looked at you and thought you were fine. But inside you were fighting for breath. Every hidden tear you wiped in silence. Every night you wrestled with doubts and fears. Every rejection that pierced your heart, they were battles you fought when no one else was watching. Others only saw the surface. Heaven saw the war within. And it is important to understand, those hidden struggles were never wasted. Every time you chose to get up again, even when the weight felt unbearable, you proved that your spirit could not be broken. Those secret victories matter more than the ones people applaud. They are the foundation of your calling. The world may celebrate visible success, but heaven honors the perseverance no one else noticed. There were days you felt crushed by loneliness, when even those closest to you did not understand. They misread your silence. They dismissed your pain, and they judged your struggle. Yet through it all, God never abandoned you. His presence sat with you in the darkest moments. Even when you felt like your prayers were bouncing off the ceiling, the Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. This is your reminder. Every tear you cried in secret was watering the soil of your future. The pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. You thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. What looks like a grave is actually a garden. Out of the soil of heartbreak, new life is breaking forth. Chosen one. Those hidden battles shaped you. They sharpened your discernment. They taught you how to recognize the whispers of heaven. They gave you compassion for others who struggle silently. The reason you cannot ignore suffering around you is because you know what it feels like. The reason you carry such a heavy sense of responsibility is because you have survived what others could not. But now, you must not hide anymore. The days of suffering in silence are over. October 7th approaches, and with it comes a revealing. The ones who endured quietly are about to shine publicly. Those who fought in the shadows are about to stand in the light. This is the shift you have been waiting for. Do not despise the scars you carry. They are evidence that you survived battles the enemy thought would end you. Your scars are not weakness, they are testimony. Every time you look at them, remember this: you did not die there. You rose. You overcame. You carried on. And now those scars become part of the story that will set others free. Hear this clearly. God did not allow you to endure pain so that you could stay broken. He allowed it so that you could rise stronger and carry healing for others. You are a carrier of breakthrough because you walked through battles that tried to break you. And now, as you step into your calling, your life itself becomes a weapon of hope. Beloved, I want you to do something bold right now. Type these words in the comments: I hear you. Now, why? Because when you declare that, you are not just typing words. You are making a prophetic response. You are telling heaven, I recognize this message is for me. You are silencing the lies of the enemy that said you were forgotten. You are acknowledging that you hear the voice of God speaking through the noise. And your declaration becomes a key that opens the next level of obedience. Understand this: your voice matters. Even when you whisper it, heaven hears. Even when you feel small, your agreement carries weight. So do not hold back. Type it boldly. Let the world know, I hear you. This is not about pleasing people. It is about aligning yourself with the voice that has been calling you through every season. The battles you fought in silence prepared you for the responsibility of this moment. You are not fragile, you are fortified. You are not overlooked, you are chosen. You are not lost, you are marked. The enemy hoped to drown your voice, but heaven has amplified it. The days of silence are finished. The unveiling is here. October 7th is the day where all of this comes into clarity. The weight of hidden tears will transform into the oil of joy. The loneliness you endured will become the fire that drives you to reach others who are still isolated. And the pain you carried will now become the authority that flows through your prayers. Chosen one. Do not let shame steal your testimony. The very things you thought disqualified you are the things that give your voice power. The world does not need a polished mask. It needs the truth of someone who has walked through fire and still stands. That someone is you. So, hold your head high. You are the proof that hidden battles can produce visible glory. You are the sign that silent tears do not go unnoticed. And as you rise, remember this: everything you survived was preparation. And everything that is coming will reveal why you had to endure it. The shift is close. The hidden will be revealed. And you, beloved chosen one, will finally see the beauty that came out of your ashes. The final countdown has begun. Chosen one, you can feel the weight of time pressing against your spirit. Each sunrise seems to echo louder. Each nightfall feels heavier. And in your heart, you know something irreversible is approaching. October 7th is not merely a date on the calendar, it is a threshold in eternity. The countdown is not measured only in hours and minutes, but in decisions, in obedience, in the alignment of your heart with heaven's call. For so long you have lived between two worlds, the life people see and the life only heaven knows. You smiled when you were breaking. You moved forward when you wanted to stop. And you carried on when everything inside you wanted to collapse. That dual existence is ending. The countdown is forcing you into clarity. You can no longer afford to hide who you truly are. You can no longer postpone the call. Every great turning point in history has been marked by a countdown before the flood. Noah heard the warning and built an ark, while others laughed. Before the Red Sea parted, Israel stood trembling between slavery and freedom. Before Jesus stepped into public ministry, there was a wilderness season that tested every fiber of his obedience. And now, before October 7th, you are standing in your own countdown. The decision is before you. Remain as you are, or step into what you were always meant to be. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13. Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The enemy will try to use this moment to distract you, to lure you into wasting precious time on things that do not matter. He wants you scrolling aimlessly, chasing empty pleasures, or drowning in fear. But heaven is calling you higher. The countdown is not a threat, it is an invitation. God is saying, I am giving you one more chance to stand, one more chance to choose, one more chance to align. Do you see how everything in your life has been building to this? The struggles of your past were never random, they were rehearsals for obedience. The whispers you ignored before are now roaring in your spirit. The lessons you resisted have become undeniable truths. Even the battles you lost have taught you how to stand now. Nothing was wasted. Every fragment of your story is converging in this countdown. And yet, there is a sobering reality. Mercy is not endless in its window. You have been given space to turn, but that space is not infinite. The countdown means time is closing. There will come a moment when the window shuts, when delay becomes disobedience, when hesitation becomes rebellion. You must decide before the final second strikes. This is why you feel the pressure so heavily. It is not just stress, it is the Holy Spirit urging you to wake up. You are standing at a cliff's edge. The old world is crumbling behind you. The new world is opening ahead of you, and the countdown is calling you to leap. Think of it. What would happen if you obeyed fully? If you stepped into October 7th with complete surrender, you would discover strength you never imagined. You would see doors open that you thought were sealed shut. You would feel chains fall that you assumed you would carry forever. The countdown is not about what you will lose, it is about what you will finally gain. But what if you delay? What if you ignore? What if you shrug off the urgency and return to business as usual? The risk is greater than you think. The countdown will still reach 0. The shift will still come. The only difference will be whether you walk into it with obedience or with regret. Beloved, heaven is not playing games with your destiny. The clock is ticking because time matters. And though the sound of the countdown may stir fear, it is also a sound of hope. It means deliverance is near. It means breakthrough is at the door. It means that what has been holding you cannot hold you forever. So let the urgency refine you, not paralyze you. Let the ticking remind you that you are chosen, not forgotten. Let the countdown push you to decide not someday, not later, but now. For when the final second strikes, you will see the hand of God move in a way that changes everything. October 7th is closer than you think, and heaven is watching to see what you will do with the seconds left. Chosen one, a crown is waiting for you. It is not made of silver or gold, not crafted by human hands, but forged in the fires of every trial you survived. This crown has been hidden, reserved in heaven's vault, with your name engraved on it. October 7th is not the day of your defeat, It is the unveiling of your coronation. Think of the seed buried in the soil. For months, it seems forgotten, unseen, pressed down in darkness. But deep inside, a quiet miracle is happening. The seed does not resist the soil, it yields. And in time, the soil becomes the very place of transformation. Then comes the day when the green shoot breaks through, rising toward the light. That is you. What looked like your burial was really your planting. The soil of pain was preparing you for fruit you could not yet see. Your crown is like that. It was not handed to you casually. It was earned through endurance. Every time you chose faith over fear, you added another jewel. Every time you walked away from compromise, another stone was set in place. Every tear that watered the ground of your destiny polished it brighter. You may not feel worthy, but heaven has been keeping the record. The crown has been fashioned in secret, waiting for its moment to rest upon your head. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 65, verse 11, "You crown the year with your goodness, and your paths drip with abundance." But here is the truth. A crown is not just an ornament, it is a responsibility. Kings and queens are crowned not to admire themselves in mirrors, but to lead, to protect, to carry weight on behalf of others. Your crown is a symbol of the authority heaven has entrusted to you. When you walk into October 7th, you are not stepping into vanity, you are stepping into stewardship. The authority on your life will not just lift you, it will lift those around you. Think of a lighthouse standing on the edge of stormy seas. Its crown is not a jewel, but a burning light at the top. That light was never meant for the lighthouse itself. It was meant for the ship struggling in the dark. Your crown works the same way. It is light for others who are lost, hope for those drowning, direction for those who cannot see. The storms you survived equipped you to shine, for others still caught in the waves. Chosen one. When I speak of this crown, I am not painting fairy tales. I am speaking of the reality that your life is about to radiate with purpose. The crown is the visible evidence of God's invisible hand on you. And though the world might ignore it, those who carry spiritual eyes will recognize it. They will see the glow of authority on your words, the weight of heaven in your presence, the fragrance of breakthrough in your life. Now, let me speak to you as a friend. Don't hide this message for yourself alone. Imagine holding a torch in the middle of a dark cave. If you keep it to yourself, others will stumble in the shadows. But if you lift it high, you'll guide many to safety. That's why I invite you gently, sincerely to share this word. Not because I seek numbers, but because someone you know might be on the edge of giving up. Your share could be their spark of hope. And if this word is stirring your heart, let it not end with a passing thought. Give it a response. Press, like not as a casual gesture, but as a symbolic act of agreement, saying, I receive this crown. I believe this word. Each action you take, even something so small, becomes a prophetic step of faith. Finally, if your spirit knows this is not the last word heaven has for you, then subscribe, not to follow a channel, but to remain connected to a stream. Think of it as planting your roots by living water. You will be refreshed again and again with what heaven pours out. This journey is not a single message, it is a path, and you are invited to walk it consistently. Chosen one. Your crown is not in the distance, it is near. October 7th is the unveiling. You will no longer be hidden. You will no longer be overlooked. The crown will rest on your head, and with it, a new authority will rise in you. Walk with confidence, for you are not just surviving, you are stepping into your coronation. Chosen one. Have you noticed how heaven often speaks through signs and numbers? These are not accidents, not coincidences, but messages coded into the rhythm of creation. Numbers appear as confirmations, whispering reminders that God is near, that His hand is guiding, and that your life is woven into a pattern greater than you can see. October 7th is not only a day marked on earthly calendars, it is a prophetic marker etched into heaven's timetable. And for those who carry eyes to see, certain numbers rise again and again. Speaking like hidden trumpets in the middle of silence, numbers carry meaning, and meaning carries calling. Take, for example, the number 40. For 40 days the rain fell in Noah's flood. For 40 years the Israelites wandered in the wilderness. For 40 days Jesus fasted before his ministry began. Each 40 was not just time, it was testing, preparation, and transition. You have walked through your own season of 40. You may not have counted the days, but heaven did. And the countdown of your trials is ending. We find in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. This is more than comfort. It is the confirmation that you are stepping out of limitation and into divine empowerment. The strength you carry now is not your own. It is supernatural. And this strength will be the key that unlocks your ability to finish the journey into October 7th. Another number you must pay attention to is 3. 3 days in the tomb before resurrection. 3 denials before Peter's restoration. 3 times Paul begged for the thorn to be removed. And 3 times God said His grace was enough. The number 3 speaks of completion, of resurrection, of divine confirmation. And you, beloved, are standing at the edge of your own third day moment. What seemed dead will breathe again. But listen closely. Heaven is asking you not to remain silent in this. There is power in declaring, power in responding, power in typing out your agreement with what God is saying. Right here, right now. I invite you to comment this prophetic number, 444. Why 444? Because it is a reminder of divine order, stability, and alignment. 4 corners of the earth, 4 winds that God releases, 4 living creatures before His throne. When the number appears in sequence, it shouts alignment, heaven and earth coming into agreement. By typing 444, you are declaring, I step into divine order. I align with the final step God has for me. Do not underestimate the act. It may seem small, but heaven sees every detail. Each time you obey in faith, you are building altars of testimony in the unseen. Your typed declaration becomes a prophetic key, opening doors you didn't even realize were locked. Think of Gideon. He doubted his call, but heaven gave him signs. He laid out a fleece, and the dew confirmed God's voice. In the same way, the numbers you see and respond to become fleeces, confirming what your heart already knows. You are chosen, and you are being led. The enemy wants you to dismiss this. He whispers, it's just numbers, just coincidence, nothing more. But you know better. You feel it in your spirit when those numbers appear. They stir something deep, something that says, "Pay attention. Heaven is speaking. Do not ignore it. Do not brush it off." This is part of your training in discernment. Chosen one. Remember, numbers are heaven's fingerprints in time. They are not given to confuse you, but to guide you. Every time you see them, let your faith rise. Every time you declare them, let your spirit align. And every time you obey the nudge to respond, know that heaven takes notice. Now, as October 7th approaches, the signs intensify. What you thought was random repetition is actually a countdown of grace. Each number is an invitation, a call to step into your destiny with clarity. Do not let the moment pass. Respond while the window is open. You have walked through seasons of uncertainty, but now the clarity is arriving. You have doubted the meaning of your journey, but now heaven is unveiling it. You have seen glimpses of patterns, but now you are stepping into alignment. Numbers confirm it. Prophetic whispers affirm it. And your obedience seals it. Beloved, the time is short. The signs are loud. And the shift is near. Heaven is not leaving you in confusion. Heaven is pointing the way. Pay attention to the signs. Align with the numbers. And declare your yes boldly. Type it now. 444. Let it be more than keystrokes. Let it be a prophetic banner lifted before heaven, saying, "I hear, I see, I obey." For this is not coincidence, it is divine alignment. October 7th is coming, and the final step is waiting. Chosen one. A great separation is beginning. It is not a separation of nations or borders, not the kind marked by armies or politics, but one far deeper, an invisible dividing line drawn between light and darkness, between those who carry heaven's fire and those who cling to shadows. As October 7th draws closer, this sifting becomes undeniable. You have felt it already, haven't you? Certain relationships fading without explanation, opportunities closing as if overnight, a heaviness in places you once felt comfortable. It is not random. It is the work of heaven's hand. When God calls his chosen ones forward, he begins to separate them from what cannot travel into the new season. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This separation can feel painful because it pulls you away from the familiar. The people you once leaned on may not understand you anymore. The places you once fit into may now feel suffocating. What used to satisfy now feels empty. Do not mistake this discomfort for failure. It is transformation. A butterfly cannot remain in the cocoon forever. The stretching, the cracking, the breaking away is necessary for the flight ahead. And so, the Spirit of God is sifting, not to harm you, but to preserve you, not to isolate you, but to identify you. Light cannot compromise with darkness. Oil cannot mix with water. The chosen cannot remain hidden in the crowd forever. October 7th is the moment of unveiling, but the days leading up to it are the moments of separation. Think of Gideon again. At first, he had 32,000 men to face the Midianites. But God said, "Too many." The army shrank to 10,000, then to 300. Why? Because God was not looking for numbers, He was looking for purity, for those fully aligned. In the same way, your circle may have grown smaller, but it has grown stronger. Those who remain are the ones appointed to walk with you into this new season. Separation is not rejection. It is redirection. When people walk away, it is not always betrayal. It is often preservation. God is clearing distractions, pruning branches, and sharpening your focus. The friendships, habits, and environments that cannot carry you into October 7th are being cut away. And while it stings, it also liberates you. For what you lose in numbers, you gain in clarity. There is also a deeper separation happening within you. The Spirit is dividing your flesh from your spirit, your fear from your faith, your compromise from your calling. Old patterns are breaking. Old desires are losing their grip. You are being cleansed, purified, set apart. This is why certain sins no longer satisfy you. This is why compromise now feels heavier than before. Heaven is refining your appetite so that you hunger only for what aligns with your destiny. Chosen one. You are stepping into an hour when half-heartedness will not survive. The lukewarm will be exposed. The undecided will be swept away. The fence-sitters will be shaken off. But you are chosen to stand firm. You are chosen to be fire in a world of ashes, light in a land of shadows. This separation is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that you belong to the remnant who will not bow. Proof that you carry the flame that will not die. Do not resist the sifting. Do not cling to what heaven is cutting away. Let the pruning do its work. Every branch removed is making space for fruit. Every door closed is preparing you for a greater opening. Every departure is clearing the stage for the true alliances heaven has reserved for you. As the countdown to October 7th continues, take heart. The separation you feel is heaven's fingerprint marking you. You may feel lonely, but you are not alone. You may feel stretched, but you are being strengthened. You may feel misunderstood, but you are being identified. Remember this: light and darkness cannot share the same space. If you feel the weight of separation, it is because your light is growing stronger. The shadows can no longer cling to you. The old ways can no longer claim you. You are stepping into the season of shining, and no force of darkness can dim what God has ignited in you. Chosen one. Embrace the separation. Let it refine you, define you, and propel you forward. For when October 7th arrives, the line will already be drawn, and you will stand not with the crowd, but with the crowned, chosen one. The air feels heavier now, doesn't it? As October 7th draws near, mercy is shifting. For so long, heaven has extended patience, waiting, calling, whispering, urging you to align. But the closer we move to the final step, the more serious the tone becomes. Mercy does not last forever when it is refused again and again. There comes a moment when the door begins to close. This is not said to crush you with fear, but to awaken you with truth. You must understand the weight of the hour. Mercy is the hand that holds back judgment, the pause between rebellion and consequence. But when mercy steps back, what remains is accountability. Every choice, every delay, every maybe later stands exposed. That is why this moment feels so urgent, because the window is narrowing. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 2, verse 4 declare, "Do you show contempt for the riches of his kindness, tolerance and patience, not realizing that God's kindness is intended to lead you to repentance?" In Egypt, Pharaoh hardened his heart again and again, plague after plague, warning after warning. Yet his pride refused to yield. Mercy extended. But each refusal brought heavier consequence, until the night came when the firstborn of Egypt fell, and mercy's hand was no longer restraining. Even in the New Testament, we see it. Jesus wept over Jerusalem, crying, "How often I wanted to gather you as a hen gathers her chicks, but you were not willing." That was mercy speaking, mercy longing to protect, to cover, to shield. But rejection hardened the city, and destruction came. Beloved, this is not to paint God as cruel, but to reveal him as just. Mercy without end would be indulgence, not holiness. And God is holy. His patience is deep. His kindness is wide. But his justice is also perfect. To ignore his voice is to choose the silence that follows. And yet here is the beauty even now. Mercy is speaking. If you are hearing these words, if your spirit feels the weight of them, it means the door is not shut yet. The countdown is still running. The opportunity is still available. Mercy has not abandoned you. It is simply becoming more urgent. It is no longer a gentle whisper, but a firm hand on your shoulder, saying, "Do not delay. The time is short." And this is why your spirit feels restless. This is why you cannot go back to old patterns without feeling convicted. This is why the pleasures that once numbed you no longer satisfy. Mercy is pressing you, pulling you, urging you. It knows that October 7th is a line in the sand, and it does not want you to stand on the wrong side of it. Chosen one. Mercy, stepping back, does not mean God ceases to love you. It means his love can no longer permit you to remain stagnant. It means his hand of patience is giving way to his call for decision. It means the season of circling is ending, and the season of stepping forward is here. Think of it like a parent teaching a child to walk. At first, the parent holds the child's hand tightly, steadying every wobble. But eventually, the parent lets go, not because they no longer love the child, but because the child must learn to stand. Mercy, letting go, is not abandonment. It is maturation. It is heaven saying, "Now is the moment to walk into your destiny." No, but take heed. When mercy steps back, excuses no longer hold. I wasn't ready. I was afraid. I was distracted. None of these will stand before the throne. For the countdown does not pause for hesitation. The shift does not delay for indecision. The line will be drawn whether you are prepared or not. Beloved, do not waste the kindness you have been given. Do not despise the patience that has carried you this far. Let it move you, stir you, break you open. Let the tears come if they must. Let the repentance flow if it needs to. Better to bow now in surrender than to stand later in regret. Mercy has been your shield, your shelter, your chance to align. But October 7th will reveal what you did with it. Did you embrace it? Or did you ignore it? Did you let it transform you? Or did you treat it casually? Chosen one. Feel the weight of this truth, but also feel the hope within it. For if you are hearing these words, it means mercy is still here. still calling, still reaching. Respond while you can, for when mercy steps back fully, only consequence will remain. The countdown is almost finished. The door is not closed yet, but soon it will be. Chosen one. In a world filled with endless noise, voices competing for your attention, distractions pulling at your heart, lies whispering in your ear, there is one voice that refuses to be drowned out. It is not the loudest, not the most dramatic, but it is steady, unshakable, and undeniable. It is the voice in the wilderness, calling your name, summoning you into alignment with heaven's will. This voice has followed you through every season. When you stood in silence, it whispered courage. When you felt abandoned, it whispered comfort. When you wandered from the path, it whispered return. You may not have always recognized it, but it has always been there, gentle yet relentless, patient yet urgent. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 30, verse 21. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear, this is the way. Oh, do you understand what this means? The voice of God does not vanish when you are lost. It does not abandon you when you stumble. Even when you wander into wilderness places, His voice follows, guiding, correcting, pulling you back towards destiny. You have never been without direction. The compass of heaven has always been pointing you forward. But here is the truth. This voice is not just information, it is decision. To hear it and ignore it is to harden your heart. To hear it and obey is to step into destiny. And as October 7th approaches, the line between hearing and obeying grows thinner. You cannot simply admire the voice anymore. You must respond to it. The world around you is filled with competing sounds. Fear shouts. Temptation whispers. Culture screams. But the voice of God is not like the chaos. It is like water in the desert, a flame in the night, a hand pulling you from the waves. It does not demand attention by volume. It demands attention by truth. Chosen one. Think back on the times you listened to that voice. Perhaps it told you to walk away from something that looked appealing but would have destroyed you. Perhaps it told you to stay when everything in you wanted to run. Perhaps it told you to trust when every circumstance screamed doubt. Every time you obeyed, even in small things, your life was preserved. And yet, you also know what happens when you ignore it. Doors that should have opened stayed shut. Relationships you forced became burdens. Opportunities you chased turned hollow. Every moment of disobedience confirmed one thing: the voice was right all along. October 7th is not just about the end of a countdown. It is about the amplification of that voice. It will grow louder, clearer, and more undeniable than ever before. The wilderness is becoming a sanctuary for those who tune in, but a place of confusion for those who do not. That is why I urge you not to stay silent. Right here, right now, I want you to declare it openly. I choose truth. Type it in the comments, not for me, but for yourself. When you write it, you are sealing agreement with heaven. You are declaring that in a world of lies and illusions, you are aligning yourself with the one unshakable voice. You are saying, I will not follow the noise. I will follow the truth. Why is this so powerful? Because the enemy thrives on silence. If he can keep you quiet, he can keep you doubting. But when you declare truth, even in a simple phrase, you shatter his hold. You remind yourself and the spiritual realm that you belong to the shepherd's voice. Think of sheep in a field. They do not follow every sound. They follow the familiar voice of their shepherd. When predators approach, the shepherd calls, and the sheep move towards safety. That is the image of what you are stepping into. The shepherd is calling, and your response determines your direction. Beloved, you may not always understand the path, but you can always trust the voice. It may lead you through valleys, but it will also lead you to still waters. It may bring you through fire, but it will also bring you into glory. The shepherd does not mislead. His voice is your lifeline, your compass, your anchor in this season of shaking. Do not let the noise of the world drown him out. Turn down the volume of fear. Turn away from the whispers of compromise. Fix your ears on the voice that says, "This is the way. Walk in it." As October 7th nears, the wilderness will roar with confusion for many, but for you, the chosen, it will be filled with clarity. Because you are not wandering aimlessly, you are following the voice. So write it now. Declare it boldly. I choose truth. Let it echo in your spirit. Let it silence the noise. Let it mark you as one who hears, obeys, and follows. For in the days ahead, that choice will mean everything. Chosen one. The intensity of the battle has never been greater. You feel the resistance, the pressure, the invisible weight pressing against you. But hear me clearly, you are not defenseless. You are not abandoned in this fight. Heaven has already spoken a promise over your life that cannot be revoked. The ancient words in Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, declare, "No weapon forged against you will prevail. You will refute every accusing tongue. This is your heritage." Still, I know how the battles feel. Sometimes it's not the visible attacks, but the invisible ones, the whispers in your mind, the weight of discouragement, the sudden waves of fear. They come like arrows in the night, hoping to pierce you when you least expect it. But those arrows will not strike. They will fall short, burning out before they ever touch you. Think of it like standing in the middle of a storm. Lightning flashes, thunder shakes the ground, rain pours down, but then you realize you are standing beneath a mighty shelter. The storm is real, but it cannot drown you. The shelter is stronger. That is what God's promise is, a shield that makes the chaos powerless against you. You have survived too much to fall now. Every battle you endured was training. Every storm that tried to sink you was preparation. And now, in this moment of final countdown toward October 7th, you are stronger than you realize. You are not fragile glass, you are tempered steel. But beloved, let me remind you of something. Shields are not for hiding in caves. They are for walking forward into the fight. God did not cover you so that you could retreat in fear. He covered you so you could advance in courage. No weapon against you will prevail. Because you are not standing still. You are moving into your destiny. And now, I want to speak gently but directly. If this word is stirring something deep in you, don't keep it locked inside. Imagine someone standing on a battlefield, terrified, ready to give up, until suddenly they hear a shout, "You are not alone." That shout can save them. In the same way, when you press like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are amplifying this message so that another chosen one out there, someone on the verge of surrender, hears it and rises again. Liking this word is more than a click. It is a signal flare. It says, I agree with this truth. I stand in this promise. Sharing is like passing a shield to someone else, saying, here, take this covering too. And subscribing is like joining an army. You're not just visiting the battlefield. You're committing to walk with others, to grow with them, to keep receiving the strategies heaven is releasing. Think of it like a campfire in the wilderness. One flame alone is small and flickers in the wind. But when many flames are brought together, the fire becomes impossible to extinguish. That is what happens when you connect, when you engage, when you choose not to walk this path alone. Your flame joins with others, and suddenly the darkness cannot overcome it. Chosen one, your life is proof of God's protection. Look back for a moment. Remember the nights you thought you wouldn't make it, the situations you thought would break you, the storms you thought would destroy you. Yet here you are, not because you were stronger than the storm, but because the shelter was stronger than both you and the storm. That same covering is over you now, and it will carry you into October 7th and beyond. Do not let fear lie to you. The enemy's weapons are loud but empty. They clatter and roar to make you think they are powerful. But the truth is, they are powerless against a child of God walking in obedience. They cannot strike what heaven has shielded. They cannot silence what heaven has anointed. And so I say to you, keep walking forward. Hold your head high. Lift your shield. Trust the promise. The fire may rage around you, but it cannot consume you. The waters may rise, but they cannot drown you. The weapons may form, but they cannot win. You are more than protected. You are positioned. And when you lift your hand to like, to share, to subscribe, remember this. You are not just interacting with a video. You are joining your voice to a chorus of chosen ones around the world, declaring, no weapon will prevail. You are raising your shield alongside theirs, and together, we stand as an unshakable army of light. October 7th is almost here. The storm may rage louder as it approaches, but you will not be shaken. You are covered. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. Chosen one. Do you feel it? That uncontainable fire rising in your bones, that restless urgency that refuses to let you stay silent or stagnant. It is not ordinary energy, not simple emotion. It is the Spirit of God awakening your inner man. It is the kind of fire that once consumed prophets, the fire that refused to let them keep quiet, even when the world turned against them. This is not a gentle spark, but a blazing flame. It burns away complacency. It consumes excuses. And it ignites courage. You may have tried to resist it, to bury it, to silence it, but the fire refuses to die. You were born with this flame hidden inside. And now the time has come for it to roar. The prophet Jeremiah spoke of this very reality. In his writings, chapter 20, verse 9, he declared, but if I say, I will not mention his word or speak any more in his name. His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. But fire is not always comfortable. It consumes what cannot remain. That is why you feel the pressure increasing. Old desires are being burned away. Old excuses are being reduced to ash. Old fears are melting in the heat. It feels painful at times, but it is purification. Fire removes the dross so that only gold remains. And that gold is what the world desperately needs. The people around you are drowning in confusion, stumbling in shadows, craving truth. They do not need empty words or shallow comfort. They need the fire. They need a voice lit by heaven's flame, a presence that disrupts the plans of darkness, a person who carries the raw heat of conviction. That person is you. Do not despise the restlessness you feel. It is not anxiety, it is awakening. It is heaven stirring you to move. You were not meant to drift in quiet obscurity. You were meant to blaze like a torch in the night. The world will not always applaud you, but it will never be able to ignore you. For when fire burns, it demands attention. Think of Moses before the burning bush. A single flame turned his wandering into a mission. That same principle is alive in you now. The fire in your bones is not for spectacle, it is for sending. It is God's way of declaring, you cannot stay where you are. You must go where I lead. And yes, fire attracts resistance. When you burn brightly, you expose darkness. When you speak truth, lies are threatened. When you carry light, shadows scatter. This is why the warfare has been so intense around you. The enemy is terrified of what happens when your fire is unleashed, but his resistance is proof of your power. Beloved, let this truth anchor you. Your fire is not yours alone. It is borrowed flame from the altar of God. That means it cannot be extinguished by human hands. It cannot be smothered by ridicule. It cannot be drowned by rejection. Even when you feel weak, the flame remains strong. Even when you feel weary, the fire refuses to die. This is why October 7th matters. It is not just a date, it is the moment when the fire fully consumes the old and commissions the new. You will not step into that day as the same person you were yesterday. You will step in carrying a blaze that no one can deny. And remember, fire spreads. The flame in you is not meant to remain contained. It is meant to ignite others. One torch can set a forest ablaze. One flame can drive back miles of darkness. You are that torch. And when you walk in obedience, others will catch fire from your life. Your testimony, your courage, your passion will awaken flames in those who thought they were burned out forever. So, do not hold back. Do not try to tame the fire or make it comfortable. Let it roar. Let it consume. Let it shine. You are not ordinary. You are a living blaze chosen to light up this generation. Chosen one. Fire in your bones is not a burden. It is your inheritance. It is heaven's mark upon you. A sign that you cannot stay silent while destiny is calling. Let the fire burn. Let it drive you forward. Let it carry you into the very purpose for which you were born. For in the days ahead, when the world shakes and shadows deepen, it will not be the clever words or polished speeches that matter. It will be the fire. And you, beloved, are carrying it already. Chosen one. There comes a moment when heaven does not simply whisper, but commands action. Words alone are no longer enough. Agreement must move from the heart into a visible declaration. October 7th carries not only revelation, but responsibility. And you, marked and called, are being summoned to make your alignment clear, not hidden in silence, but declared with boldness throughout history. The people of God have been invited into prophetic acts. These were not meaningless rituals. but physical expressions of spiritual truth. When Israel circled Jericho 7 times, it was not about walking, it was about obedience, releasing power. When Moses lifted his staff over the sea, it was not wood that split the waters, it was faith in action. When Naaman dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, it was not the river that healed him, it was the obedience that unlocked the miracle. Your moment has come. The prophetic act is simple, but it carries weight. A number chosen not by chance, but by heaven's hand, chosen one. Every prophetic act is like striking a match in the darkness, small in appearance, yet able to set a forest ablaze. Do not underestimate the weight of obedience. What feels ordinary in your hands is extraordinary in heaven's sight, and it shifts the unseen realms in your favor. The Apostle John recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 36. So, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Freedom. Beloved, that is the theme of your prophetic act. The chains that bound you are breaking. The doors that confined you are opening. The voice that silenced you is losing its grip. You are stepping into true freedom. Not the illusion the world offers, but the kind that only heaven gives. And now, as a prophetic response, I invite you to type this number in the comments. 555. Why 555? Because it is the number of grace multiplied. Grace overflowing. Grace that refuses to run dry. 5 has always represented grace. And when it is tripled, it speaks of heaven's abundance, more than enough. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. By declaring 555, you are saying, I receive the fullness of grace. I choose freedom. I align with heaven's promise. And this act is not superstition. It is not empty ritual. It is faith made visible. It is like planting a seed. You may not see the tree yet, but the soil recognizes the life within it. When you type 555, you are sowing agreement into the spiritual realm, marking yourself as one who chooses to walk free, no longer bound by fear, shame, or delay. Think of Paul and Silas in the prison. Their prophetic act was not numbers, but songs. At midnight, they sang, and the ground shook. Chains fell, and doors opened. Why? Because obedience carries authority. Your simple act of declaring 555 is no less powerful. It is your midnight song. Your statement that the countdown is leading not to captivity, but to release. The enemy will scoff. He will whisper, "It's meaningless. It's just numbers. It won't change anything." But remember, the enemy has always mocked what he fears. He mocked Noah's ark, yet it preserved humanity. He mocked David's sling, yet it brought down a giant. He mocked the cross, yet it shattered death forever. Do not let his lies silence your obedience. Beloved, this prophetic act is not for me, it is for you. It is your declaration that the mercy spoken in section 8, the fire burning in section 11, the crown revealed in section 5, all of it is real and alive in you. You are not watching history unfold, you are stepping into it. As October 7th draws near, the separation grows sharper, the countdown grows louder, and the prophetic act becomes more urgent. You cannot linger in indecision. Heaven is asking for a response. And even now, The Spirit is stirring your heart to say yes. So let your fingers declare what your spirit already knows. Type 550. 5. Let it be a sign that you refuse to stay bound, that you receive the grace, that you are walking forward into freedom. Chosen one. This is not small. This is not casual. This is destiny, written in heaven and confirmed on earth through your act of obedience. For when you align with heaven openly, the earth itself must respond. October 7th will not pass you by as another date. It will mark the moment when your prophetic act sealed your freedom, and the world will see the evidence in the fire of your life. Chosen one. The dawn of October 7th has arrived. The air feels different, charged with a weight you cannot explain, a stillness that seems to hush the world as heaven prepares to move. For so long, you have lived in anticipation, sensing the countdown, hearing the call. Now the threshold stands before you, and stepping through it will change everything. Crossing the threshold is not like flipping a switch. It is like opening a door into a reality that was waiting all along. What you see around you may not instantly change, but what awakens within you shifts the entire landscape of your journey. You are not the same. The soil under your feet feels holy. The atmosphere above your head feels charged, and your spirit knows you are walking into a new dimension of purpose. The Word of God declares in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, Z. I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. This is what October 7th means for you, the open door. It is not a door crafted by human hands or dependent on human approval. It is a door set by heaven itself, and no opposition can close it. Your enemies cannot shut it. Your fears cannot lock it, and even your own doubts cannot erase it. The door is open, and you are invited to walk through, but crossing a threshold also requires leaving something behind. You cannot carry the weight of yesterday into the new day. The bitterness, the shame, the guilt, the fear they belong on the other side of the door, not in the space you are entering. It is as if heaven is asking you to set down your bags before walking into the palace. You cannot enter crowned while still clinging to chains. You may feel the tension of the step. The familiar behind you is loud, whispering, "Stay, don't risk it, don't believe it." But the door ahead glows with promise, whispering, "Come, step through. Everything you've been waiting for is here." And this is the moment of decision, to cling to the old or embrace the new. Beloved, the threshold is not always comfortable. It feels like standing with one foot in yesterday and one foot in tomorrow. But you cannot remain there forever. The threshold demands a choice, and as the dawn of October 7th breaks, your choice is being recorded, not just in your heart, but in heaven. Think of Israel standing at the Jordan River. For 40 years they wandered in circles, but on the day of crossing, the waters parted. They had to step forward to enter the land promised to them generations before. The threshold was not about geography, it was about obedience. In the same way, you are standing at your Jordan. The land ahead is rich with purpose, but only if you step forward. Crossing also changes identity. Yesterday you were a wanderer, today you become a warrior. Yesterday you were hidden, today you are revealed. Yesterday you were surviving, today you are thriving. The threshold transforms not because of where you are, but because of who you become when you step through. Chosen one. Understand this. October 7th is not magic. It is alignment. It is the moment when heaven's timing meets your obedience. When the door opens and you decide to walk through, that decision itself activates what was waiting. The threshold is not about waiting for something to happen to you. It is about you deciding to happen to the world. And yes, the enemy trembles at this moment. He knows once you cross, you will not return. He knows once you step forward, his grip will be broken. That is why the resistance was so fierce leading up to this day. He fought your mind, your body, your relationships, your finances, not because you were weak, but because you were close. He wanted you to quit before the threshold. But here you stand, and nothing can stop you now. Do not minimize what is unfolding. The world may not notice October 7th. Headlines may not announce it. But in the unseen realm, angels mark it. Demons fear it. And heaven celebrates it. Because this is the day a chosen one stepped fully into calling, no longer wavering, no longer hiding. So breathe deeply. Feel the weight of this holy moment. You are not just crossing into a new day, you are crossing into a new era. The past is sealed. The door is open. And your steps carry eternal consequence. October 7th has arrived. And everything changes now, not just around you, but within you. Chosen one. As you stand on the other side of the threshold, everything feels different. It is not only that the countdown has ended, it is that you are now walking in a mantle you did not carry before. What was once only promised has become present. What was once only spoken has become seen. The mantle is resting on your shoulders, and with it comes authority, weight, and clarity. A mantle is not just a garment, it is a transfer of power, a confirmation of calling, a visible mark of invisible authority. Think of Elijah, who wrapped his mantle around Elisha as a sign that destiny was shifting. The mantle carried more than fabric. It carried responsibility. It said, "What rested on me will now rest on you." That is the picture of what heaven is placing upon you now. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 19. So Elijah went from there and found Elisha, son of Shaphat. He was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and he himself was driving the 12th pair. Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak around him. But with clarity also comes weight. The mantle is not light. It presses upon you because it carries heaven's responsibility. This is why you feel the gravity of October 7th so deeply. It is not just about personal blessing. It is about divine stewardship. The authority you carry is not for self-exaltation, but for the service of others. Consider Joseph. His mantle was a robe of many colors, a sign of favor. Yet that favor carried him through betrayal, through prison, through suffering, until one day it positioned him to save nations. The mantle does not promise an easy road. It promises a meaningful one. It means your life is no longer your own. It is assigned for the good of many. Chosen one. The mantle on your life is both a gift and a call. It empowers you, but it also humbles you. It lifts you, but it also bends your knees. It marks you as chosen, not so you may boast, but so you may serve. And though the world may not yet recognize it, the spirit realm already does. Hell sees the mantle and trembles. Heaven sees the mantle and rejoices. This is why you cannot return to who you were before. The mantle changes you. It alters how you see yourself, how you respond, how you walk. You cannot live small when heaven has marked you large. You cannot blend into shadows when the mantle glows with fire. You cannot act ordinary when you carry extraordinary weight. Do not despise the heaviness of it. The mantle may feel overwhelming, but it is designed to rest on your shoulders, not to crush you. The same God who gave it to you will strengthen you to carry it. And every time you feel the burden pressing down, remember, it is not pressing to break you. It is pressing to shape you. Beloved, the mantle means you are not simply called. You are commissioned. You are no longer just surviving storms. You are commanding atmospheres. You are no longer simply praying for deliverance. You are carrying deliverance for others. You are no longer hiding in the crowd. You are standing as one marked by fire. And this mantle is not temporary. It is not here today and gone tomorrow. Once placed, it becomes a permanent part of who you are. It may stretch you. It may cost you. But it will never abandon you. Heaven's mantle is sealed by heaven's choice, not man's approval. So wear it boldly. Do not hide it. Do not apologize for it. Let it rest upon you as a visible sign that you belong to a kingdom greater than this world. Walk with the confidence of one who knows they carry something eternal. Stand with the courage of one who knows the mantle cannot be stolen. Move with the conviction of one who knows the mantle is both your covering and your calling. Chosen one. October 7th was the crossing. October 8th and beyond are the carrying. The mantle is yours now, and with it comes a new season of authority. Do not shrink back. Do not second guess. Do not wonder if you are worthy. The mantle would not rest on you if heaven had not decided you were ready. You have stepped into the next chapter. You are carrying the mantle, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen one. There is a call rising inside of you now, not just for yourself, but for the remnant, those who linger on the edge, those who are wavering, those who are unsure whether to step into their own destiny. You carry not only a mantle for your life, but also a trumpet for theirs. This is the moment where your voice matters more than ever. You are not just a survivor, you are a witness. You have walked through fire, and now you bear testimony that others desperately need, like a lighthouse on a rocky coast. Your light is not for decoration, but for direction. Ships lost in the storm are searching for that steady glow to guide them home. The Apostle Paul proclaimed in the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 14, "How can they call on the one they have not believed? How can they hear without someone preaching?" This is why your voice cannot remain silent. You have been chosen not just to carry light, but to call others into it. There are hearts waiting for your testimony, souls waiting for your courage, lives waiting for your obedience. But let me tell you this, sharing your voice doesn't always look like standing on a stage. Sometimes it is as simple as pressing a button. When you amplify this message. It is like striking a bell in a quiet valley. Its sound travels farther than you think. When you share, you scatter seeds. Imagine casting handfuls of grain into the wind, never fully knowing where they will land, but trusting they will take root in soil you may never see. And when you subscribe, you are not just consuming words, you are choosing consistency, deciding to stay connected to a flow of truth that builds you week by week. It's like choosing to sit by the same fire, night after night. Each time you return, the flame warms you, strengthens you, and prepares you for the cold winds outside. Beloved, do not underestimate how these small acts carry eternal weight. Perhaps you think, it's just a click, just a share, just a comment, but in the unseen realm, it is more. It is like lifting a torch high, saying, I am here, I believe this word, I carry this truth, and others in the dark will see that torch and run toward it. And yes, I want you to write in the comments, not long speeches, just a simple declaration. Type these words, I stand ready. And when you type it, you are not only speaking to me, you are speaking to yourself, to your own spirit, reminding it that you are prepared. You are declaring it to heaven, saying, I am available for what you ask. And you are declaring it to the earth, saying, I will not waver. Your comment becomes a line drawn in the sand, a visible marker of your yes. Think of a soldier who lifts his hand to say, here I am. I'm ready. That is what your comment is, a public acknowledgement that you are enlisted in this holy call. Others will read it and be strengthened. Some who are hesitating will see your boldness and find courage to type it too. In this way, your words ripple outward farther than you realize. Chosen one. The remnant needs voices like yours. They are scattered, but not lost. They are weary, but not broken. They are waiting for the trumpet sound that reminds them who they are. You are that trumpet. Your light is that signal. Your simple acts, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, become the echoes that reach them in their caves of fear and call them back to destiny. So, walk with confidence. You are not just consuming this message, you are carrying it. You are not just listening, you are amplifying. You are not just chosen, you are a caller of the chosen. And your obedience in small things is opening doors for others in great ways. The remnant is awakening. October 7th has not just shifted you, it has shifted the atmosphere for many. And as you rise, you give others permission to rise with you. Do not let your flame stay hidden under a covering. Lift it high. Let others see. Let others hear. Let others know that the chosen ones are stepping forward. Beloved, type it now. I stand ready. Let it be more than words. Let it be your trumpet call. Let it be your seed planted. Let it be your act of faith. For the remnant is waiting, and your voice may be the one that awakens them. Chosen one. The storms have come. The waves have risen. The winds have howled, but still you stand. What the enemy thought would shatter you has only proven your strength. You are unshakable. Not because life has been gentle, but because the foundation beneath you is eternal. You are unstoppable. Not because you never stumbled, but because every fall became a stepping stone into deeper strength. There is a mystery about resilience. It is not born in moments of ease, but in seasons of struggle. Diamonds are not formed in gentle soil, but under the crushing pressure of the earth. Gold is not purified in cool water, but in the heat of fire. And you, beloved, have been through both crushing and fire, and yet you shine brighter than ever. The Apostle Peter reminds us in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 10, and the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory, will himself restore you. This is not just encouragement, it is fulfillment. Your suffering was never the end of the story. The restoration is here. You are not fragile glass about to break. You are tempered steel forged for battle. You are not a faint flicker. You are a steady flame that refuses to go out. Look back for a moment. Remember the nights when you thought you would collapse under the weight. Remember the mornings when rising from bed felt like a war. Remember the tears that burned your face. The prayers that felt unanswered. The battles that left scars. Those moments were real, but they were not final. They have been woven into your testimony, proof that you cannot be defeated. The truth is this: storms test everything. They shake houses, topple trees, break fragile things apart. But what is rooted deeply, what is built on solid ground, survives. You are here because your roots went deeper than you realized. You are here because even when you felt shaken, the rock beneath you never moved. And now, having endured, you carry authority. Authority not from titles or recognition, but from scars and survival. When you speak, it carries weight because you have lived what others are still enduring. When you pray, it carries fire because it was born in nights of desperation. When you walk, it carries confidence because you know storms cannot destroy you. Unshakable does not mean untouched. You still feel the wind, still hear the thunder, still see the waves. But inside, you know, nothing can separate you from the hand that holds you. Unstoppable does not mean life will never resist you. It means resistance cannot stop what heaven has already decreed. Consider Paul. Shipwrecks, prisons, beatings, betrayals. Yet he declared, "None of these things move me." That is the spirit of the chosen, to face storms without collapsing, to face fire without losing your flame, to face setbacks without surrendering the call. That is what you carry now. Chosen one. You must also understand this. Being unshakable and unstoppable is not only for you, it is for those who are watching, silently wondering if hope is real. They see your endurance and they believe survival is possible. They hear your story and they realize breakthrough is near. Your resilience becomes their courage. Do not despise your scars. They are proof of your survival. Yes, but they are also doors for others to walk through. When Thomas doubted, Jesus showed him his scars, not to glorify pain, but to prove resurrection. In the same way, your scars will prove to others that life after the storm is possible. And here you are, standing tall in the aftermath of everything that should have buried you. The ashes around your feet testify to the fire you walked through, but the light in your eyes testifies to the glory you now carry. You are unshakable because your faith did not collapse. You are unstoppable because your destiny did not dissolve. October 7th marked the shift, but October 8th and beyond mark the unveiling of your strength. You are no longer the one barely surviving. You are the one carrying victory. You are no longer the one hidden in the storm. You are the one walking out as a testimony. Beloved, breathe this truth deep. Nothing can take you out. Not betrayal, not fear, not loss, not even death itself. For you are anchored to the Eternal One, and His word over you cannot be revoked. You are the storm walker, the fire survivor, the one who rises again and again. Chosen one. The world will see storms, but they will also see you standing, shining, unstoppable, and they will know you are not ordinary. You are chosen, chosen one. The journey has brought you here, to the unveiling, to the moment where your destiny takes its first full breath. October 7th was not the conclusion of your path. It was the ignition of a new era. Everything before it was preparation. Every battle, a rehearsal. Every tear, a seed. Now you stand crowned, radiant and steady, carrying the authority and clarity that only chosen ones can bear. Your crown is not made of fragile jewels, but of resilience, forged in the hidden battles of your past. It is not ornamental, but functional, carrying with it weight, responsibility, and power. When you walk into rooms, this crown cannot always be seen by human eyes, but in the unseen realm, it glows with unmistakable brilliance. Angels recognize it. Darkness fears it. Heaven celebrates it. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." This is who you are now, a city on a hill. Impossible to hide. Impossible to ignore. Your life itself has become a beacon. Where once you walked in shadows, you now blaze as a lighthouse on the cliff, guiding the lost, steadying the weary, warning of danger, and announcing the way forward. You are no longer defined by what you endured, you are defined by what you now carry. But hear this clearly, the crown is not an ending gift. It is a beginning mantle. Crowns are not given to close chapters, but to open reigns. To be crowned means to be commissioned, to be entrusted with leadership, to carry the weight of guiding others. Your crown is not just for your glory, it is for the transformation of those around you. Think of Esther, who wore her crown not as a decoration, but as a weapon of intercession. She stood in the palace, not for herself, but for her people. Think of David, crowned after years of rejection, carrying the weight of leading a nation with songs and battles alike. Think of you, crowned now, for this moment in history, not to shine alone, but to stand as part of heaven's strategy on the earth. And yes, the crown also changes how you walk. A crowned one cannot slouch in defeat, cannot drag their steps in despair, cannot blend back into the crowd. Your posture shifts because the crown demands dignity. Your speech changes because the crown requires wisdom. Your presence deepens because the crown carries authority. People may not fully understand what has happened in you, but they will feel it. They will sense the weight of heaven on your shoulders, even if they cannot name it. Beloved, this crowning is both glory and responsibility. Glory, because you now shine with heaven's affirmation, proof that the preparation was worth it. Responsibility, because you must carry it with humility, with service, with unwavering obedience. The crown is not for show, it is for stewardship. October 7th was not the day your story ended. It was the day your role truly began. You step now into a new rhythm of life. One where your words matter more, your actions carry weight, and your presence shifts atmospheres. The world may still see you as ordinary, but heaven knows you are marked. And the crown upon your spirit will testify every time you stand in courage, every time you speak truth, every time you walk in love. Do not fear the weight of it. The same God who placed the crown on your head will strengthen your neck to carry it. The same Spirit that ignited the fire in your bones will guide you in wielding your authority. The crown was not given because you are flawless. It was given because you are faithful. And faithfulness is the currency of the kingdom. Chosen one. This is the beginning of your reign. Not the reign of ego, not the reign of self-exaltation, but the reign of light, of truth, of humility wrapped in power. You will walk through seasons that challenge it, storms that test it, voices that question it, but nothing can take away what heaven has placed upon you. Lift your head, let the crown shine. Walk into this new era with confidence. For October 7th was never the end, it was always the beginning. And you, crowned and chosen, will walk forward into a future that has been waiting for you all along. Chosen one. The journey of these words has reached its close, but the journey of your life has only just begun. You have walked through awakening, through fire, through separation, through the weight of mercy and the urgency of countdowns. You have stood in wilderness moments and heard the voice that refused to let you go. You have stepped through thresholds, received mantles, and now wear a crown that cannot be taken away. October 7th was not a random date. It was the marker heaven set for you to realize what has always been true. You are chosen. You are called. You are crowned. Nothing in your past disqualifies you. Nothing in your present can break you. And nothing in your future will separate you from the one who sealed you. Carry this truth forward. When storms rise, remember you are unshakable. When resistance comes, remember you are unstoppable. When doubt whispers, remember you are crowned. Let your scars remind you of survival, your fire remind you of purpose, and your crown remind you of destiny. And above all, let your life shine as proof that chosen ones still walk the earth marked not for fear, but for glory, not for despair, but for victory. The final step has been taken. Everything has changed, and your best days, chosen one, are not behind you, they are ahead.